Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If a new job is on the horizon for you in the new year, well, you're in the right place because today we're going to be talking about 5 things that every job seeker should know. So first tip for our job seekers or potential job seekers out there is that LinkedIn is your friend. LinkedIn is a platform that I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with, but it's really grown in popularity over the past few years and has really evolved its purpose. Now, LinkedIn really used to be a place that was perfect for basically uploading a digital version of your resume. It was the place where you added in all of your job experience and education experience, and people got to know you by browsing through your profile. And that's still true, but it's also evolved into much more of a social networking site. So LinkedIn supports videos now, so you can kind of get creative and tell the world about your passions and your experiences that way. You can also amplify your profile by adding multimedia links and updates and things that are just a little bit more eye-catching and tell a more complete story of who you are. And it's also great just for sharing industry expertise and industry knowledge. So getting active just like you would on any other social platform is really important on LinkedIn, and you never know who's going to be watching. We actually have some other LinkedIn tips that we're gonna leave in the description box and down below with this video, so definitely go check those out. But the other thing we wanna talk about in terms of LinkedIn is that it can be an excellent place to research your potential job. So if you find a job listing on LinkedIn or off of LinkedIn and want to investigate the company a little bit, see what they're all about, you can do that really easily by looking for their company page on LinkedIn. You can also take a look at the people that are employed by that company page and kind of get a feel for what types of people work there, what their experiences were like. And this can be especially useful if you know who you're interviewing with. Now, typically we wouldn't recommend connecting with, your interviewer or a hiring manager before you actually meet them and get a job offer, but it can be a great way just to do a little bit of research about them and about the company. Now, speaking of research, that's our second tip, is do your research. No 2 jobs are the same, and therefore no 2 job interviewing processes or resumes or cover letters should be the same either. So avoid that copy and paste cover letter and write something original. Go ahead and do your research on the company. Like we said, you can use LinkedIn to check out their company page. You can use their website, take a deep dive into things like their about page, their values and company information. Look at their social media profiles and start to learn a little bit about what they do and what some of their challenges might be. This is really important because if you get called for an interview, you want to seem like you know what you're talking about. And believe me, they'll be able to tell if you didn't do your research. So definitely study up. You want to definitely cater your job interview materials, like your application, your resume, your cover letter, your email communications even. You want to cater that to the research that you find. So I would write my cover letter way differently for a law firm than I would for a financial institution like a bank. So it's important to know who you're interviewing with and what the company is all about. Now, speaking of resumes, yes, they do still matter. LinkedIn is kind of the universal digital resume nowadays. It's no secret that a lot of hiring managers are looking on LinkedIn and sourcing on LinkedIn for talent, but resumes do still matter. If nothing else, they make you look really professional when you do get that face-to-face interview. So yes, print them out for whoever is going to be interviewing you. I always like to carry a couple extras with me just in case it happens to be an interview with a couple of different people in it, and it just makes you look really prepared and really professional. It's also nice because they're probably not going to have a computer or a phone pulled up during your interview to be looking at your LinkedIn profile. So being able to kind of glance down at your resume and take a look at your experience as they're talking to you is going to better enrich that conversation. And it's going to help you too, because it kind of acts as a little cheat sheet for you by reminding you to highlight some of the accomplishments that are written down in front of you. Now, one thing to keep in mind with resumes, especially when it comes to the application process, is that according to a study from Capterra, 75% of large companies use what's called an ATS. Now, an ATS is an applicant tracking system, and it's a software that basically scans your resume for certain keywords and sort of pre-screens the resumes that are submitted. So it's important to learn how to write for an ATS system, which is kind of similar to how you would write for a search engine. We're gonna leave some tips down in the blog post below, so make sure to go check that out so you can make sure that your resume is actually getting seen and not being skipped over by a software. Another tip, speaking of resumes, is to use a cover letter. Yes, always include a cover letter, even if the application does not ask for one. Similar to the resume statement, writing a cover letter just makes you look very professional. It makes you look very eager and really shows that you truly want the job. It's also a great place to kind of expand on some of your experiences. So people are just going to be scanning your resume really quickly, and they might skip over some things that were really meaningful to you, or they might kind of miss some connections. If you have retail experience and you're applying for a marketing position, they might not immediately see that connection, but you can use your cover letter to write about how retail introduced you to the world of marketing and how it got you excited about marketing and selling products that way. So it's important to use this space to talk about yourself, brag on yourself a little bit, but always tie it back to the company and to the position and how those experiences and those accomplishments of yours can better the company and the organization. And last thing that you should know is that your potential employer, they're probably going to Google you. Some studies show that up to 70% of hiring managers do search for candidates on social media or on the web. So it's important to have your online reputation covered. Make sure to go through your social media profiles and either set them to friends only or to private, or to just clean up, your profile picture and the things that you post so that you're not posting about drinking on the weekends or using a ton of inappropriate language or being really scantily clad. You want to portray yourself professionally, especially if your profiles are public. Now, another thing that's really important is to keep track of your search persona. So our tool, Marple, can definitely help with that. What we do is we take a look at search results of your name or whatever the search term that you prefer. Maybe it's your company name or your email address instead. We'll take a look at that search term and we'll let you know whenever new search results pop up about you so that you can mark them positive or negative, or even report them to Google for removal. Maybe there's something really negative or just simply untrue that was written about you that you want removed from those search engines so that your potential future manager isn't going to run across it while they're doing a search for your name. So it's really important to keep track of those things, and you can sign up for Marple for free as well. So definitely get on that, take control of your online reputation. It is so important all the time, but especially during a time that is so important and so sensitive as the job search. So happy job seeking if you're planning to do any of that now or in the future. And be sure to thumbs up the video if this was helpful for you. Subscribe to our channel. We do post videos every week, and we will see you soon for the next one. Bye.